Hello again. There's many people or sources again that swear blind that the tet can mean a snake. I've often been a bit unsure about it. Now for doing this study I think it probably can be a snake. Right, so I've written the top one in Paleo Hebrew and the bottom one in like modern Chaldee, Aramaic, Syriac, flame letters, whatever you want to call them. Okay. And I've been doing different sort of interpretation with this. I've done the usual letter to letter to letter, but there's some other ways of doing it. Right? And this guy gets on my nerves, so I'm going to expose him. Right.
Expose me? I don't think so. I know everything. I know what you did last night, and I know what's
Very much of that. Oh, wait.
Ah!
Bye bye. Sorted. Okay, rather than going letter to letter to letter, what I'm going to do this time, I'll do that, but first of all, there's another way of interpreting things where it's to do with roots, child roots, parent roots. I don't know much about it. It's a field of study that I need to look into more. The reason being, grammatically, when I'm just reading the text, as you would normally, I can read a bit of Hebrew, I can read several sentences with understanding. Other times I don't have a clue. Other times I understand some of it. So I need to learn to read a bit more fluently, and my vocabulary could do with being increased as well. I'll show you this first. Stay flat. Okay. You get your sheen. Do it in modern letters at the moment. And then you get your tet. Okay, that word. Basically the first two. Right. I've looked at different concordances and lexicons and all this business, and you know yourself there's several different meanings and some of them conflict a bit. You have to, whatever. It allegedly means rebel and apostate, which seems to be a bit like Satan. Also Satan, or Shaitan, however you want to pronounce it, it doesn't just simply mean the devil. It also means just an adversary or an enemy in general, but usually it can refer to the devil. So you've got apostate, rebel. It's supposed to mean swerve, or like a swerving deed. Okay, and it also is supposed to mean lash, as in get two pieces of stuff and lash them together, so you've got the same sort of bendy, snaky type thing on the go. And it's supposed to mean lash out as well. It's in the sense of like a hate or an attack. And it's supposed to also mean quick. I mean, which meaning is it? Maybe it is all of them. It's supposed to mean quick as well. So you put the idea of this twisty thing, you know, snake, and you get the idea of lashing things or entangling things, right? Or twisting things, a bit like wicked, like a rope, where we get the word wicked from. You get this sort of satanic idea. You get the idea. And it also looks a bit like a snake attacking to me. You mix swerving sort of hate and attack and all this bendy business and quick. Looks a bit like a snake biting to me in this context. Okay. If you do it this way, if you swap them over, that's supposed to mean pounce. Although in the dictionary lexicon thing I looked at, there's a question mark next to it. So maybe it doesn't mean pounce. But if it does mean pounce, you get the snake again. And you could also be like the roaring lion effect, as we was told that you know, sayings like a roaring lion is always trying to see who we can get. You get that idea. If you get tet noon, it's supposed to mean weave, and pictographically it says it's supposed to be like a basket that continues, which makes a lot of sense. Because pictographically, yeah, you got like a basket, and you continue it, yeah, and you weave, yeah, this all makes sense. Noon, groan, feed, fish, same motion. Okay, so again, you got the idea, a bit like rebel, a bit like this lashing thing, the twisting idea, weaving. If you go noon tet, something like that, it's supposed to mean settle. I don't understand how that would work. It's supposed to be like a seed basket, as in you shake the seeds and it settles. This was according to Jeff Bennett. Maybe it does, I don't know. How does that work? What's that got to do with this? I can't see any insights in that word. Maybe you can. If you can, tell me. Right. Shen, a bit like sheen, okay, a bit like the full word sheen, kind of the same meaning, that's tooth or teeth. It's supposed to also be a rocky crag, so again, you've got the idea of, you know, a snake's teeth, or, you know, negative connotations, let's say. I might come back to that later. Right, noon sheen. This is a depth or loan, which makes a lot of sense. Satan always wants to get us pressured into some sort of depth or loan. Pictographically, you've got, again, the seed, and then like the teeth, like pressure, so it's got the idea of a continual growing pressure, which is what happens when you're in debt. You've always got this pressure on your mind, you've always stressed, it's always like, you've got to pay me off, you've got to pay me off, you've got to get, you know, it's there again. So you combine all these little sort of two-letter words that seem to be in the word, and again, it all seems to be a depiction of Satan or an enemy. Okay, and you can join them together as well. You know, let's try. This is what I was saying about it. Sometimes you get grammatical insights mixed with pictographic. You can join two together as a word and link it to one picture, and you can interpret things that way as well. You know, the first one, shet, the apostate, the quick swerve, lash out. You know, you could say it's an apostate who noon continues. He just carries on being evil. You know, you get that idea. He carries on, you know, quick swerving. He's always trying to get to you. You could look at it that way. Those different ways. Have a look at it yourself. Right, okay. Now the usual way I like to look at things, you could say the devouring, or do it in the bottom one, the devouring snake towards the seed, let's say. Or what would be easy to say is the snake that wants to eat the seed, or the snake that wants to destroy the seed. And you can look at that several ways. Again, we've told that seed is the word of Elohim, so you can say Satan wants to destroy the word of Elohim, right? Or crush it, or he wants to destroy the seed, the fruit of the womb. He wants to, you know, abortion. You get the idea of abortion there as well. He's trying to destroy the seed all the time. Okay, that's what I see in that. You could look at the other way. The snake's trying to feed the seed, and you'd think, well, why would he want to feed it? You could look at it, his own seed. He's got his own word, his own body of teachings that he wants to feed and propagate. Right, it's going to propagate too. So you can look at it that way. He wants to keep giving you a lot of rubbish, right? The Nephilim seed, if you believe in that funny stuff, which I do believe in a lot of the funny stuff, you know, minotaurs, I think all that stuff actually existed. Genetic engineering, you know, is trying to mass about propagate his seed, his corrupted seeds. You get that sort of picture from it. Okay, another thing I see. You can say the fire or the destruction that is contained in the seed. Okay, well, what do I mean by that? If the seed can be the word, right? Well, if you look at a seed, it's like a nucleus, and it has everything it needed to do what it needs to do once it germinates and propagates. So the word goes into you, it does its thing, then it germinates, propagates, goes through you, and it has an effect on you. Well, if there's destruction inside the seed, I mean, that's again like false teachings. There's something, it's laced, there's something wrong with it. Okay, so you can look at it that way. That's perfectly in line with Satan or Shaitan. You can look at it to say this. Drugs. I'm not against all drugs, I think some are okay, but some of them, as we know, are bad for you, or they are laced in some sense because they have some side effects. Now you might say again, okay, well, that's a tablet, that's a pill, why would you say it's a seed? Well, one, yeah, okay, it looks a bit like a seed, you know, it does look like a seed, but it functions like a seed. You put it inside you, and then when it's ready and it opens up and propagates and does its thing, it has an effect on you. So I get the picture of pharmakia. The book of Revelation says all the nations were deceived by pharmakia, or drugs and that. You know, again, I'm not saying all drugs are wrong, but I get that picture from it. That makes perfect sense. A while back I was speaking to my mum, and I gave her a few meanings of these letters. I said to them, just link them together in some way and let me see what you come up with. What she came up with, it was good. It was this. Remember, the tet can mean mud and earth. What am I doing? It's English, isn't it? Eat mud, live. So you can eat the mud or the dust in order to live. You shall eat dust all your days, all the days of your life. It's basically almost verbatim what the scripture says about it. You're going to eat mud all the days of life. Get down on your belly, eat the crap, eat the base things of life. It's there. It's even in the correct order. That I think is great. Now, I said I was going to come back to something. Is this? Right. No, that's not right. I'm doing it in Paleo Hebrew this time. Okay, Sheen, Noon. Right. Shen, teeth, tooth. At least according to sort of language translation softwares, which is a bit dubious to be honest. I've checked two, they said the same thing. I don't know whether to trust it or not. It said Shen can mean year. Right, now I know if you put a hay on the end of it, right, it can mean year. And I know grammatically hays are considered to be grammatically weak, so sometimes when you're reading they can drop off a word. Right? If that can mean year, I'm not saying it definitely can, but if it can mean year, I'll get another picture. Okay. So these two. Okay. Let's just say this represents a year. And you've got the idea of basket, something containing it. So you could say the year is contained. So you put the sheen and the noon in the basket. Okay? So the year, or the time period, is now being contained. Again, if this is legitimate. So if that's the case, could that be Satan wrapping his tail around the feast dates and Moedim, the appointments, and hiding things like the Sabbath, Shabbat, you know, all the different, you know what I mean? I don't know, it looks like it to me. Or you could look at it another way again. You could say you've got a year, but in the middle of the year is a snake. You know, right in the centre of this year or time period is a snake. So you've got things like this that come to mind. Yeah, Christmas, Saturnalia, Easter, New Year's Eve. You know, all the pagan things we're trying to come out of. You know, you've got these years and times that Satan's in the centre of. I get that picture. That's about it. There's probably loads more. I did a little study as well. I don't look into geometry, however you pronounce it, very much because I just don't. I'm not there yet. I do believe there's plenty of truth in that, but there's also you can go in funny ways. Same as this, you can take it too far. But with that one, you just add them together. So you've got Sheen, that's 300. You've got Tet, that's 9. You've got Noon, that's 50. Should have put 50 at the top of that. So obviously you've got 359. What they do then, they add the letters together and make it to the smallest denominator. So then you add them together, 9 plus 5 plus 3, you get 17. Add that together, you get 8. Okay, so I thought, alright, fine, you got 8. If it means anything, what could it mean? I don't know, so I just went to the 8th one. So you got, excuse me, Chet. Okay, so you got the wall. Alright, something like that. You got a wall. Again, always divide. Right? Satan always wants to divide you. He's always wanted to do that. He's always trying to drive a wedge between people, split us up, divide and conquer. Okay, so I get that idea. If he's like a big wall. Plus, when all's said and done, when those of us who are redeemed are all sorted out and in the new kingdom, and Satan's burning or whatever, you got the idea of a wall again. It's division. You're going to have two sides separated. You know, the sheep from the goats. So, yeah, that's what I get from this. Again, please, thank you for watching and give me some comments, see what you think. I think there's plenty in this.